Hello, this is Tip Top Gaming here today with another Commander 2019 spoiler deck, or spoiler video. Today we're going to be talking about the entire Populate deck. Last time we talked about Flashback, and the time before that we talked about Morph. If you haven't seen this video, you guys should go check them out, but let's get into this. We're going to start with Hour of Reckoning. So Hour of Reckoning is a reprint, actually, and if it's a reprint, something new I'm doing is I went through all I found their price if they were reprints. So Hour of Reckoning is a 7-cost convocable spell, which means you can tap creatures to pay mana for it. And it says destroy all non-token creatures. Of course, Populate's a very token-heavy mechanic, obviously. And we're actually going to see that on the next card. Whenever you cast the spell Populate, that's pretty fun. One thing to note is if for some reason you have this on the field and nothing else on the field, and you cast a spell that says create a 1/1 Sapperling token, because it's a cast trigger, it will you won't have anything on the field to duplicate. So if you don't have a token on the field when you cast this spell that generates tokens, you don't get to duplicate those tokens. I know that's probably obvious to a lot of you, but for some of you it probably isn't. So I just thought I'd bring it up. Then we have Mandate of Peace, 2-cost, instant, cast a spell only during combat. I actually like this card. Your opponents can't cast spells this turn, so they can't counterspell it unless they use an ability to counterspell it. And then it just says, end the combat phase. Oh, you're going to attack me? Nope. Just skip it. I really enjoy this. And what you can do is say that you let people through, like a bunch of things through, and they boosted, now it's lethal, or oh, they boosted, now you're getting really low on health. You can literally just say, nope, let's just skip the damage phase. So that's pretty powerful for 2. I feel like it might be better than a standard fog effect. Next up, we have Commander's Insignia, which is an enchantment that says creatures you control get +1/+1 for each time you've cast your commander from the command zone this game. One thing I don't know how this works with is partner commanders. So if I cast each of my partner commanders, do I get +2/+2? Either way, I think this card's pretty good. I don't remember what the commander is for this deck. Well, I do. It's the... oh, I thought I did. But... unless this really synergizes and like the commander like bounces itself, which I know it doesn't, I don't see how this really makes too much sense. So why don't we take a look at what the commander is while we're looking at Doomed Artisan. Rock Egg, sorry. Rock Egg is a 0/3 defender, and when it dies, create a 3/3 right bird creature token with flying. This is a very random addition, however, it's not really as random as you might think. There's a card coming that synergizes well, but then again, this is 2 cards in a 100-card deck. As well, it does create a creature token, so I guess it's not that big of a deal. Next, we have Doomed Artisan, which is a 1/1 for 3. It says sculptures you control can't attack or block, and I actually really like this card. And then it says, at the beginning of your end step, create a colorless sculpture artifact creature token with this creature's power and toughness are equal to the number of sculptures you control. So the idea behind this is that you bring out Doomed Artisan, and then you create a bunch of sculptures, and maybe you populate those sculptures, and then you have to kill Doomed Artisan because they can't attack or block. But as soon as he's dead, now you have an army of sculptures. So that's why it's like that. And just so all of you know, this is the main commander is Girid Conclave Exile, which allows you to whenever he attacks, populate and have things attack. So that's not super. I mean, and he cost 5. So I don't know. Commander's Insignia is kind of a weird card. Angel of Sanctions is a mythic, 72-cent mythic. It's a 5-cost 3/4 with flying, and when it enters the battlefield, you may exile target non-land permanent opponent controls until it leaves the battlefield, and you can embalm for 6. I see why this is so junky. I don't see why this is a mythic. It's a lot easier to destroy than something like Excellence Binding, which is also cheaper. I know you can bring this back, but eh. Then we have Tectonic Hellion, which is a 7-cost 8/5 with haste, and when it attacks, each player who controls the most land sacrifices 2 lands. I guess this is probably because Convoke, although there's not that much Convoke in this deck, or maybe if you get up your army, then I'm going to start destroying everyone's lands, that way you can't interact with me, but overall this card also feels really weird. Then we have Feldon of the Third Path. This is a reprint, but the original spoiler was in a different language, so that's why it looks different and has a different set symbol. It says pay 3, tap, create a token that's a copy of target creature in your graveyard, except it's an artifact in addition to its other type. It gains haste, sacrifice it. Pretty typical stuff here. It's actually one of the more expensive reprints. Then we have Full Flowering, which says populate X times, XX green. We have Voice of Many. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card for each opponent who controls fewer creatures than you, which I feel like an effect that said draw cards equal to the number of creatures you control might be better, but obviously that's really overpowered. So if you're playing this card could literally be useless, and if you already have more creatures than someone, you're already winning. So in a 1v1 situation, that card's kind of useless. It's a 4-cost draw 1 card if you're winning already, so it's not as awesome, but... then let's go to Oron Frostfang. It's a 2/6 5-cost snow creature snake, and when attacking creatures have death touch, and whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. So hey, you block one of my creatures. Oh, the creature you blocked was dead. Hey, you let it through. I get to draw a card. I think this is really good. I'm sorry if I'm rushing through these. There's a lot of them. Next, we have Selesnya Eologist. When it says pay 3, exile target creature card from a graveyard, not just yours, but you do have to have one to exile, then populate. Next, we have, and it's a 3/3 for 3. I think that's a pretty good card. Some people play 3/3 for 3. Not generally, but some people do. Then we have Shamanic Revelation. It's a 5-cost, and it says, draw a card for each creature you control. Hey, wasn't I just talking about that? And also, it has another ability. You gain 4 life for each creature you control, power 4 or greater, which isn't as useful because this is supposed to be a bunch of tokens. But then again, if you get 1 token that's 4/4, for instance, the commander summons 1, and then you populate that a whole bunch, which also the commander does, this could be good. Then we have Growing Ranks, which just says at the beginning of your upkeep, populate. And then we have an amazing thing called, amazing card, Lightning Greaves. Equipped creature has haste and shroud. Yeah. Next, we have the legendary creatures and planeswalkers. We have Marisi, Breaker of the Coil. It's a legendary creature cat warrior in the 3 colors of the deck. 5/4 for 4. Your opponents can't cast spells during combat, so no combat tricks, no ending combat abruptly. Well, you can, but not your opponents. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, each creature that player controls. Goad, each creature that player controls, which means until your next turn, those creatures attack each combat if able, and attack a different player than you if able. So, if you deal damage whenever a creature deals damage to an opponent, it makes all of their creatures attack, whether it's safe or not. And if it's a 1-person game, or a 2-player game, then they're going to attack you, but if they're not, you know they're not going to attack you back, because they can't. Next, unless they bring out a creature with haste that wasn't goaded. Atla Palani Nest Tender. This is the one that has the egg synergy. It's the first egg commander. We have, it's pay 2, tap, create a 0/1 green egg creature token with Defender, and whenever an egg you control dies, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature card. Put it on the battlefield and the rest on the bottom of your library in any random order. I think that's pretty cool. You could play this person, create eggs, populate those eggs, kill those eggs, and just put on more stuff on the battlefield. That's pretty cool. Next, we have Tongarth First Mate, and it says it can't be blocked by more than 1 creature, and whenever an opponent attacks with 1 or more creatures, if it is tapped, you may have that opponent gain control of him until end of combat. If you do, choose a player or planeswalker that opponent is attacking. He's attacking that player or planeswalker. So, for instance, say I attacked with him into an opponent, and then someone attacks me, I can give them that creature to attack with, and then say they were also attacking someone else. You can say, hey, send this 5/5 to attack him right now. It's definitely interesting. Completely useless in not 4v4, or not more than 1v1, but completely useless in 1v1. That's what I'm trying to say. And yeah. Next, we have Tristani, Selesnya's Voice, which says, whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain life equal to its toughness. This is cool. I like it. And then you can pay 3, tap, and populate. Then we have Garruk, Primal Hunter. And it's a legendary Planeswalker Garruk for 5, and it has 3 loyalty, and it says create a 3/3 green beast creature token. Makes sense for the deck. Draw cards equal to the greatest power among creatures you control. Doesn't super make sense for the deck. And then we have -6, which is kind of cool. Kind of. Very cool. Create a 6/6 green worm creature token for each land you control. I believe that is it for this, and we are actually going to pop right here. Wow, much more seamless. Right here, and you guys are going to get to take a look at the deck list. So why don't we take a look at that? Wow. All right, so we have, of course, Garruk as our Planeswalker, Angel of Sanctions, Wingmate Rock, Dragon Master Outcast, Feldon of the Third Path, Soul of Zendikar, Tristani Selesnya Voice, Desolation Twin. Is that a Eldrazi? Oh yeah, whenever you cast him, you get to put a 10/10 colorless Eldrazi on the battlefield, which then you can populate. Flame Rush Rider, Heart Piercer Manticore, Rampaging Baliths, Thragtusk, Amara Tandris, Wayfaring Temple, Rock Egg, Garruk's Pack Leader, Sekiro Tribe Elder, Vitugazi Guildmage. So then we have Our Reckoning, Phyrexian Rebirth, Shamanic Revelation, Cultivate, Explore, Farseek, Harmonize, Fresh Meat, Momentous Fall, Second Harvest, Rootborn Defenses, Tristani's Judgment, Beast Within, that's a fun card, Druid's Deliverance, Slice and Twine, and it's an okay card, Naya's Charm, Sundering Growth, that one's an annoying card, Mimic Vat, Soul Foundry, Lightning Greaves, Soul Ring. Also, Mimic Vat is fun. It lets you basically, I believe you get to create a token copy of a card. Now, I don't know. If you create a token copy of something that has to be sacrificed and then you populate it, can you, like, not sacrifice it? I don't know. Growing Ranks, Virtue, Colossal Majesty, and then basically the same lands but in different colors. And then here's the list of all of the creatures, or all the new cards. We have 17 new cards. Either way, that was it for this video. I tried to get through it faster because I know it's 18 minutes for the spoiler videos a lot, so I decided to just read through these and show them for a sec. So if you wanted to watch one in particular, pause the video, or you can head over to Daily MTG to look at the deck list for yourself. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.